Hi, my name is John, and today I will be doing a video for BikeBible on top tips for winter cycling. So we're getting close to Christmas now, if not just past by the time this video goes up, and some of us will be thinking to ourselves, I haven't done much cycling, I'm holding out for the summer. The only downside of holding out for the summer is you're building your fitness up from scratch again once it comes. So prep work during the winter time is crucial for making sure that you can do any challenge that you set yourself in the summer by putting the hard work in during the winter. It's a lot more difficult to cycle in the winter time because you have shorter days, it's very cold, it's very wet, and because you can't see as well visibility wise on the tarmac and around you, it can be very dangerous. So I'm going to teach you or tell you a few tips for coping with winter and what to look out for when out riding as well. So basically you will lose most of your body heat via your head, your hands, your torso and your feet. So it's vital to keep all these areas well protected when you're out cycling. For your head, what you can use is either a skull cap to go under your helmet or a full face balaclava. Also with the balaclava as well, it does cover your neck as well, so it does keep some of the chill off there as well. Saves you having to wear a snud and then a skull cap, but that's two different options. Do what feels comfortable for you. For your hands, use a set of full-fingered neoprene gloves ideally, or anything that is water resistant and wind resistant as well. For your torso, underneath your normal cycling attire, you'd want to also have a good base layer as well. Also for your torso as well, it might be worthwhile investing in a long sleeve jersey as well. And for your feet, a good set of woolly socks and overshoes to go over your normal cycling shoes as well. When it's wet outside, obviously you want to get waterproofed as much as you can as well, but at the same time able to let sweat come out as well. So make sure that you get a good lightweight waterproof or water resistant jacket that has wind resistant properties as well, with good breathability, like I just stated beginning with that sentence. The same can be said for bib tights as well. Next tip I would say is stay visible. So best way to stay visible is have a good set of lights. Make sure you have a good headlight and a good rear light. A flashing one is good for picking up the attention of drivers, but make sure if you go for a high lumen rear light, make sure that you go with one that has a good soft mode on it. It's better to keep it on still. Drivers will still pick you out, however you're not going to be causing any sort of distractions for a driver to the point where they might actually do something that might result in a crash for them or for both of you even. Also make sure that you wear a good coloured top as well, preferably with your jacket. You can put lights on your helmet if you want as well, but again, if it's a high lumen light, make sure that you put it on a slow pulsation mode, or indeed a soft red light or a full red light sort of mode as well. And also reflectors are also going to be quite beneficial for you as well. You can even get tyres with reflection strips going around the sidewall as well, so there's something to look out for as well. Plan your routes. So mainly speaking, in the winter time, you don't expect yourself to be doing the same sort of distances as what you were doing during the summer. The only exception to this rule is people who do Audexes, but a lot of them will say that it's crazy doing an oil decks in the winter anyway. A lot of them do it for a proper challenge, but if you're looking for just, regular riding during the winter, stick to short distances. If you're used to 100 miles in the summertime, in the winter time, cut it down to 50. If you're used to 70 miles on a long ride in the summer, cut it down to 40 to 35. It's better to keep your legs spinning when you're out on short rides than it is to be running out of steam on a long ride and finding it more difficult to get back home. Also, another good reason for planning your routes is that if you do decide to go on a long ride and you get a mechanical issue, let's say, and what happens is while you're waiting for a person to come and pick you up, a friend or a partner or anything to pick you up, you're not going to be freezing there forever. So at least if you do a short ride that you can find yourself get back home quite easily, you're not going to be suffering too much from the elements when you're not able to cycle. Mud guards. So you can get mud guards to go around your wheels. It will keep a lot of the dirt and grime and everything else from attacking your frame and your vital components in and around the front and rear wheels, aka the cassette, chain, bottom bracket, chain rings, front derailleur, rear derailleur and the brakes. It keeps the elements well away from these areas for the most part. The only way that these components in question do get attacked by the elements is when it's at face value as opposed to coming off the rear wheel as it's spinning around. With the fronts, obviously it's going to be protecting spray from hitting you as well from the fronts. Obviously your back's covered by the rear one, but from the fronts it saves anything flicking up into your face, and it also saves again muck and everything else attacking the front brakes and also the front hub as well. Start a ride warm. I should have made that tip number two. But yeah, the main thing is if you start out a ride warm, there's more chance of you sticking a ride out and also basically stopping the elements from attacking you too much, health-wise, aka colds and all the rest of it. So if you start, best thing to do is stay in the house, be nice and warm in your cycling gear, have a hot drink prior to going out, and in that case, by the time you get out and the elements start attacking you, if you attack the first few minutes on a ride, your body temperatures will start to increase again quite rapidly, so it's not like the colds attack you from the get-go. Make sure your bike is well maintained. So I've done a video already that's going up after this one or just before, but showing you a good way to attack your bike if you've left it in the elements a bit too long when you've been cycling to and from work or going out on rides and that. But what you can do after a ride is just give your bike a quick once over with a towel. Just make sure that you re-lube your chain as well if it needs lubing up at all. And the main reasons for doing this is it's better to have a look at your bike and think to yourself, it's ready, I'm feeling partly ready, I'll go out for a ride anyway. Rather than you feeling ready, you look at your bike, there might be some issues with it and you're thinking, maybe another day. So that's one reason behind it. The other reason is you can, as I stated in another video as well, it means that you get to check the bike out to see if there's any discrepancies with it. So, if you've gone over a pothole and it's made you feel a little bit squirmish, then what you can do is just check it as you're going along to see if there's any faults in any parts or indeed the frame or forks as well, or the rails. And ultimately, it just means that when you come to do a full service in the springtime and that one is going to get all your attention and that there's not going to be any additional parts that you need to get in for that because you've kept the bike somewhat maintained during the winter. Make sure you use a bike that is not your pride and joy or your Sunday best. So your Sunday, if you're a keen cyclist, a very keen cyclist, might I say, you'll have more than one bike. You'll have a random bike that you probably would have started out with, and potentially you'll have a bike that is your absolute pride and joy. You love riding it all the time, and it's the bike that you want to be on most of the time, if not all the time. But during the winter, that bike, the latter bike, is something that you do not want to get ruined, because if you do come across any mechanicals, it's going to be more expensive for you to repair, potentially. It's also going to be a lot more degrading to see the bike get dirtier to the point where it's like, okay, I just want to leave it now, and I can't be bothered touching the other bike either. And yeah, just ultimately, it's just all about money. It's like, if anything was to go wrong in the winter time, it will do, and you don't want your best bike to suffer that fate. If you cannot get out riding during the winter, but you want to still keep your fitness up, consider getting either a turbo trainer or a set of rollers. My personal preference is a set of rollers. It's not only a challenge to set off with, because it's got the rubber belt around it, has a lot of resistance against it, which means I have to put a lot of work into getting the things to move in the first place. But also it improves my bike balance quite drastically as well, might I add. But a lot of people will prefer to use a turbo trainer, and if you can fork out the money for a smart trainer, it adds the benefit of feeling like you're racing against somebody else, aka through Swift, which I'm not endorsing. It's an industry leader at the moment in terms of indoor training. But you're racing against either your friends or someone on the other side of the globe, or in your home city or town or whatever. But it's a lot more entertaining that way compared to just going along on a regular turbo or set of rollers, headphones on, and just doing a workout like that. Have a look online for a good training plan that you feel like will be adequate for yourself. If not, best thing to do, short and sweet rides are the best way to keep fit. I'd like to thank you for watching this video, and hope to catch you on future episodes as well.